with us on TV3Newday. The Ghanaian Times is first. Government releases 154,892 and 836 million to SHSs. Rehabilitate our roads to facilitate socio-economic activities. Akachi Hoti Chief Hungary to support construction of wastewater treatment plant in 13 regions. Hungarian President tours Kumasi plant. That's good news there. 7 perish in fire outbreak at Budumburam, Sad. On the back page, #thrash 11 wonders in Accra. Black Stars arrive in Garoua ahead of the Comoros game. The Daily Guide is next. There's Hungary president visits Kumasi waste plant. GMPC rebuts ASEP's Anadaku claims. Also 620 million capital bank scandal. I can cough 130 million Ghana cedi says Atu ASEAN. Government pursue bauxite development. Duka is deputy minister in that sector. In team Bwedu Nanabi lead the NPP race, and Bagbin security intact according to the Ministry of National Security. The Daily Graphic, first ever actual corruption survey. Shraj GSS evaluate 250,000 households. Also, GRA beats targets, collects 57.32 billion in 2021. Also, just spawned Hungarian firm to build treatment plants in 13 regions. Family of 7 perish in fire disaster. Back page, #thrash wonders 41. And Danlad says Kotoko at Brekum. BNFT, World Bank warns of difficulty in assessing external financing. And policy rate hikes staring us in the face. Ghana's global gains every December. The Statesman, the Daily Statesman newspaper, Police authority orders MTTD to stop motor check. Speaker has adequate security. No attempt to put Bagbin in harm's way, according to National Security. Baumia lauded for technical acumen. And NLA intensifies war against illegal lotto operators. Back page, Novak Djokovic, tennis star, deported after losing Australian visa battle. And the Finder newspaper is last. It says urgent reforms needed to avoid death of constitution proposed. GMPC denies registering offshore company. 142% rise in road traffic offences in 2021 from 2,831 in 2020 to 6,877 in 2021. Economy still robust, fundamentals strong, according to the Finance Ministry. My guest this morning, Pius Enam Hajite. He is the boss at the National Youth Authority. Also with him is the Member of Parliament for the Bongo constituency, Mr. Edward Bauer. Gentlemen, welcome. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning to you, John.
How was your weekend?
I was good.
It was good?
Yes, it was.
You ate fufu or akple?
Akple, maybe. I don't recall. But akple is...
You don't recall what you ate?
Yes.
The food was plenty.
But akple is routine. I mean, a never man who hasn't had akple has not eaten.
He has not eaten, that's true. Anyway, Edward, how was your weekend?
Charlie, my weekend was fine, and I think this is the first time seeing in the.
That's it. So happy New Year.
Yes.
Right.
I think the weekend was okay.
Okay.
Just a few social invitations that I tried honoring. But besides that, we're in a go for those Ghana.
I see. Well, let's talk about the Speaker of Parliament. I'm sure you've heard the different concerns that have been raised, letters from the Military High Command. There's also one from the Clerk to Parliament that has surfaced. And then there's a release from the National Security indicating that some people are blowing the whole thing out of proportion and all of that. What are your own thoughts, Pius?
Well, thank you very much, Johnny. Good morning to you, to my brother Eddie, and to our cherished viewers on TV3. It's an important conversation, but Johnny, I cannot but start with a quick and brief reaction to your bite. I take note of your PR you attempted relative to the lawsuit involving the former deputy finance minister, and it is legitimate that if you have some concerns, you can raise it. But I also just want to plead with you to take notice that this is not a matter that can be judged on TV. The correspondences that you raised, raised some issues which, for me, you should have averted your minds to, but you failed to do. The first one, you asked the question, where are the 30 ambulances? But these are matters that are under litigation.
They are not.
As we speak,
They are
there's
not.
they
They
are.
not. The court
And
has
they are-
not sat on the matter.
No, but they are under litigation.
The court has not sat on the matter.
You
please.
just said on your own set that people are being taken to court
today.
over those matters.
The court has not sat.
So,
It
and
is
that
not
reads-
sub judice. If
No,
it's-
it
if
is.
it's that- no.
It is.
It is not sub
If
judice.
I may,
No,
just
but
finish. It
you-
is.
you are- but
You said it yourself
but
that.
you are misinforming the
No,
public.
it's not. You
are
said that a writ has been issued.
Yes.
And that somebody is going to court today.
But if the writ has
So
been
the
issued-
matter is sub judice.
But the
It's a
court-
matter under
the court-
litigation.
The court has not sat on the matter.
It doesn't have to. The
Don't
court that-
confuse the two, please.
How do you mean?
Don't confuse the two.
The processes of the legal processes is a
Don't
process.
confuse the two.
John, if I may just
Go
conclude,
ahead.
but
So don't confuse the
my
two.
issue is this: that these are matters that are under contention. The route has been issued, the processes have commenced. There will be physical appearance in court probably today, and so this is a matter that is under litigation. I'm surprised that you may be suggesting that for a subject of a legal interrogation, a matter that is before the courts, I'm surprised that you may be suggesting that we make use of those ambulances, even if the matter is under litigation. Number two, you read a letter that said that when Alex Segbefia, Honorable Alex Segbefia was health minister many years ago, he raised issue with the quality of the ambulances and said that they were, as it were, incomplete. Some of the accessories were not in the ambulance. Many years later, you read a letter that was again allegedly written by that same company, Big Cs or something, in 2018, suggesting now that some of those issues that Honorable Segbefia had raised, now those matters are being fixed or have been fixed. So that there is value in ordinarily reading what Honorable Segbefia wrote in 2012. There is some value that after almost about 6 years, in 2018, the company now writes to the minister to say that those accessories have now been fixed, which means that there was an issue even at birth of this whole concept. And so for me, it's a critical matter that many years after 200 ambulances were ordered, allegedly 30 of them had been delivered. And for me, if there's a clear case of difference between the NPP and the NDC on competence, on commitment to solving the problems of Ghana, you will notice that under 4 years of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he could buy and deliver to Ghanaians for usage 300 ambulances and over. That same 4 years, our colleagues in the NDC had.
It doesn't answer my simple question where the 30 ambulances are.
Well, the 30 ambulances are matter. They are
saying that I'm doing PR. You are doing
Yes,
PR,
yes.
but you are not answering
Yeah,
the
but-
question.
but I
I asked a simple question. Where are the 30 ambulances?
You mean where are they physically parked?
Where are they?
I would suspect that.
You are suspecting.
The question, the real question you want to, or the suggestion you want to
don't
make is
change
that
my question.
we should use those ambulances.
No, I'm asking.
We are not interested in where they are sitting.
I am asking where the
I'm
ambulances
sure
are.
we are not interested where the ambulances are parked.
Are you serious?
No, we are not.
Are you
we
being serious?
We are not interested. So
Are you being serious?
Yes.
That we have spent
I'm saying that.
taxpayers' money to buy something.
I'm saying that.
And you don't care where it is. And you call that competence.
No.
Are you
When you
serious?
say that, where are the ambulances? I'm suggesting to you that you are not asking where are they physically parked.
That's
You
what
are
I'm asking.
suggesting
That's
that
what I'm
why are
asking.
we not using
No,
them?
I'm asking where they are. If we find them, we can use them.
But nobody's complaining. The question is not about lost ambulances.
Where are the ambulances?
The suggestion you're making is, and and I think it's a legitimate concern.
Right.
If you think that 30 ambulances have been bought, but they should be used, in your view, they are not being used. So you're asking. So I'm saying that the understanding I get.
I want to get where they are parked. Are they?
But Johnny, you are seriously to get the answer to where they are physically parked is to come on TV3 Byte and ask this question. For who to answer?
I thought
It's a phone call. You want us to place a phone call to tell you where they are parked?
I thought that.
The responsible that you walk to the health ministry to find. But I'm saying that you are making a suggestion beyond where they are physically parked,
Pius.
and you are inviting us to use them.
Pius.
I say that's fine. Maybe you haven't accepted your minds to the fact that it is a matter under litigation.
You are not answering the question. I'm saying that.
Yes.
We have bought 30 ambulances.
Yes.
The company insists that it's been brought. The ministry has not denied it. Where are the 30 ambulances? It's a simple
The position
question.
of the state
All
is
this
that
runabout thing, you have not answered the question.
the position of the state by this development is that illegality has occurred the country has been shortchanged and we have lost money.
Okay.
Relative to these ambulances, the state has therefore proceeded to court to do the needful.
Okay.
You are suggesting that even when the state has taken that position...
That is where you are getting it wrong. You see, you are inferring wrongly. And I don't know where you're getting it.
But Johnny, when you say, where are the ambulances, what do you mean?
If somebody says, I have sold teacup to your father,
yes,
you should be able to say the teacup is on the dining table. That's what I'm asking. Where are the ambulances?
But I'm saying to you,
so far, do you realize that nobody has been able to answer that simple question? Because if I bought 30 ambulances,
yes,
it's parked at the State House.
Yes.
It's parked at the Jubilee House.
That's the answer you want, not that we should use it.
Where is it?
Because you claim that Ghanaians need it. The ambulances has to serve people.
If we
so I'm saying that is true. The ambulance has to serve people.
Okay.
But this matter is under litigation. But if you want to know where the ambulances are, Johnny, it's not Johnny's bite that will give you that answer. Because nobody answers you. But it's a one-way communication channel you have drawn here. You offer opinion.
But that's why you're responding to it.
No. It's not my...
You came to respond to it.
No. But that's not my job. I don't have to know where the ambulances are parked.
But
it's the Ministry of Health.
Okay.
Okay, but it's my job to cure your mischief. Any mischief that you put out, it's my job to cure it.
It is your...
But if you want to find where the ambulances are parked, Johnny, you have been in this game long enough. It's just 5 minutes walk. You go to the health ministry to ask, where are the ambulances?
Pius.
But you claim that, has there even been a financial loss?
Pius.
If there were a financial loss, Johnny, you cannot answer it on set. Pius. It only can be answered in the court.
So now, you are suggesting that journalists, for example, cannot ask questions if they think about those questions.
That would be lazy journalism. Journalism is not to be sentimental and to raise people's BP and temperature. That's not journalism. Journalism is to give us the answers. Journalism is to give us answers. It's for you to go to the health ministry, ask the questions, and report to us that, I checked, I didn't find. But if you are just sitting down...
Whose temperature am I raising?
The people of Ghana you are talking to. You are exciting them. You don't know.
I'm what?
You are exciting them. That's why I called it a PR game. You are seeking to... I know, Johnny, we know what...
I am asking 30 ambulances. Where are they? You say I'm exciting the
people that you are asking the question, do they have the answer?
So nobody can do it.
I'm saying that the people, you go to the health ministry to ask those legitimate questions if indeed the idea is genuine.
I hear you.
Now let's go back to the matter.
The statesman has an editorial. It's only fair that he takes a bite because you...
On the same matter, correct.
Fine. Because you decided to take us there.
Fine. I don't mind.
First and foremost, there was a fundamental question that was asked. For me, what is good for the goose must be good for the gander.
Must have tell the truth.
When you were talking, I never interrupted. And I have tried as much as possible to make sure that I don't interrupt you throughout this program. Yes. You asked a very fundamental question. You have a minister of health under the same sector, a minister of health who superintended over some of this correspondence that you have today, who openly, not under duress, admits wrongdoing in the same sector. You have an attorney general.
Get closer to the mic for me.
Sorry, thank you.
Right.
You have an attorney general who is in the same government, who is seized with these same facts. And the attorney general decides that at this particular point, I've chosen to prosecute this person under the guise of causing financial loss to the state. Meanwhile, that same minister who is pretending over the sector admits something, and there's not even an initiation of an investigation into that fact. Apart from having government PRs come out to defend what the health minister did.
Have you asked this question in Parliament, for example?
Those questions, and again, it is for the reason that we had that bipartisan committee that was set up. It was the same reason that as we speak today, you remember that in Parliament, when we were going out to move for censorship, the second deputy speaker adjourned the House. That's the last, not this, the other one. Adjourned, what do you call the sitting?
Well, he said when you return, you will sit on it. You have come and gone.
I'm coming. The issue was very fundamental. The minority leader had drawn this, the attention of the business committee on this. We are still going to pursue it. So I'm just answering your question about what has Parliament done. So basically, that question is being dealt with. But the question I'm asking is that even before Parliament finally takes a decision on him, he came and faced a committee under oath and had made those admissions. Yes. And you have a Attorney General who is not interested in pursuing that. Back to your point, I'm coming. Back to your main point. Yes, it is true.
You think that the Attorney General is not interested?
He is not interested. He is not going to be interested.
Really?
He is not going to be interested.
How sure are you?
He is never going to be interested
How
because
sure
even the discourse that you hear from government circles seem to be defending the Honorable Minister. Even the discussion within government seem to say, and this will not be the first time. There have been situations where clearly there have been loss of money to the state, and government simply is not interested in dealing with those issues.
So raise the red flags.
Those red flags have always been raised. The question is as to whether government is ready to pander to it. That's the point. The flags have been raised. The issue of cash for seats had been raised. Indeed, not only that, we forced a committee that was, formed and investigated in Parliament.
And boycotted.
You had a situation where government just sat down at Flagstaff House and said that there was no wrongdoing after their own internal investigation. While the issue of bust in terms of oil, you remember the BNI issue? Only for the same Flagstaff House to say that they had set up a BNI and the report had cleared the gentleman.
Said he doesn't clear people. It's the institutions that clear.
You had a situation of the two deputy chiefs of staff and the Kolebu issue that had come. It took again Flagstaff.
Allow him.
No, let me make my point.
He kept quiet.
Excuse me.
He kept quiet. For you.
But we're discussing
But
about
he
that.
kept quiet.
Does he know what
He
we're
kept
discussing?
quiet.
Yes,
for you.
I am just trying to tell you. I said that
well.
in the same sector. I'm just saying, he asked me a question. That's why I'm responding to those questions. He asked a question because in the same conversation that he spoke about, he talked about the same sector. You have the issue of the Sputnik V in terms of the importation. The same sector. You are talking of causing financial loss. You have an Attorney General who is not interested in this. And I'm saying this because of the timing. I tell you that the whole activity of the Attorney General was geared towards cowing down Atuforce.
Can I take 1 second?
No, I'm coming. Was geared towards cowing down, Atuforce.
How do you know this?
I know this because, look.
But Johnny, you are just leading him on.
No. I know this. He's asking me that. Look, let me tell you.
I don't know why you guys do this.
You see,
I don't know why you guys do
point.
this.
We are adults around the table, so we know exactly what it is.
No, excuse me. No, I don't want to give it to you. I don't want to see that to you. I don't want to see that to you.
I think that we must be fair to ourselves.
You see, my point I'm just trying to make. My point I'm trying to make.
I'm asking, how do you know that the Attorney General is doing this to cower Atuforce into submission?
The timing,
that's damning.
You see, look, let me tell you, the timing is very informing. And that will even inform part of the discussion we're going to have this morning. That you have a situation where post the resistance of the major tax handle that government intends introducing.
This is scandalous.
You immediately decide to take the lead person in the finance committee to court.
So that what happens? If he's in court, he's no longer able to.
The same period that the speaker who superintends over the activities of the legislature, you have a withdrawal of his security detail in terms of military. These things could not have been happening by coincidence.
But the National Security Minister has explained that
it is not what
the military is not
part
of the what do you call it? It's not supposed to be. It's on a need basis. But
Johnny,
it has police.
Did you
protection.
expect the Minister for National Security to say anything otherwise? Did you expect that in his response to public outcry, in his response to? I am just trying to tell you that the whole idea, because the point I'm just trying to make. The timing of this particular court case of Atuforce,
which is okay. Tell me, what time should have been next year?
I don't give a damn when.
I mean,
when it's
because
to
it is a very moot point to raise.
It's
a very moot point.
Eddie, should people not be held accountable for?
That is why I have chosen not to go into the details of what is going to court.
All right.
But I'm just saying that we have similar situations. If the fundamental or if the common denominator is causing loss, financial loss to the state, within the same sector, and that's one of the things you raise. Why is the state not interested in that?
Correct question. Assuming without admitting, Eddie, honestly, assuming without admitting that this, your theory about somebody else causing financial loss is right, it does not also mean that in your mind, one wrong has happened somewhere. So until you are able to deal with that wrong, you cannot deal with another wrong. Because
I've
you
not
see,
said that.
Yes.
I am saying that if you look at the two cases, if you look at the two cases,
Yes.
we have one that seems to suggest
Yes.
that the person in the middle of this particular discussion
Yes.
has opened and not under duress indicated that some of the decisions he took were wrong. And you and I know that in the course of that, the state had committed resources already.
So
to
the investigations that have been done over years relative to the financial loss that are to cost, because you have a health minister who admits to some wrongdoings, those investigations and those prosecutions should be suspended.
Pius,
is that what you are saying?
Pius, you are innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, you see,
absolutely.
So you see, you have a situation. No, you have a situation.
Absolutely.
No, you have a situation where, in one case, you have the gentleman and who is being sent to court, indicating that look, I am not wrong. But you have another situation where the other gentleman who's not being investigated admits that look, I think that I took some wrong decisions, and if really he admits that he took those wrong decisions, what it simply then means is that any financial loss that is occasioned by those decisions is attributable to him. Because in any case, when they talk about causing financial loss to the state, it's not embezzlement. It's about decision making.
Correct.
It's about decision making.
So nobody has said that has embezzled funds.
No, that's the point I'm trying to make. Yes. So the question I'm asking, you have one that the state is alleging.
This can only be a partisan position.
Excuse me.
It's a very partisan position to take that.
And you think that you are here, you are being nationalistic.
No, yes.
You are being nationalistic.
Let's move on.
If a minister in this government was sent to court,
which will not happen anyway.
I will not take the position that, because some NDC minister also did something and was not taken to court. Why are you taking this minister? It's a very partisan position to take.
I'm just being courteous to you. But concerning you yourself,
yes,
the investigations on the Australian visa thing,
yes,
up to today,
yes,
do we have the report?
So how is
do
that?
We, no,
so
I'm coming. Do we have the report?
So we have the report? I have the report, but
you have a report.
Yes.
Share it with us.
Do we have it? I borrowed it from Kwekuba.
You see, so the question. No, let me make my point.
I didn't investigate myself.
Let me make my point.
But you were not sent the copy of
the question. No,
you were not sent the copy of the.
I wasn't served. I was not entitled to have been served. Okay, when the police do a criminal investigation on somebody, they don't submit the report to the person.
So the police did you and your reputation.
But I'm saying to you that you asked me.
Did you ask for it?
I didn't ask. I did. I don't have to. I'm saying that I got access to it. I read it.
Okay.
A good friend of mine got it, and I got it and read it. But I'm saying to you that for Johnny to say,
no, I'm not Johnny.
For Bauer to say that because a report, and I knew he was going to come there. Very low blow.
No, what do you mean? That's
fine. Don't worry.
Allow him.
For him to suggest that because a report to criminal investigations to a matter has not been published, and he is not aware of it, no criminal prosecution should happen in this country again.
That's not what I've said.
But that's the position you are making. It is very partisan and petty.
Your premises that you were all wrong. So I'm not surprised that you concluded the way you concluded. Let me make my point. My point is this.
Yes.
Final point.
My point is
final point as well. Then we'll go on.
There was an investigation on you.
Yeah.
The investigation had to do with visa racketeering, which in itself is a crime under the law. The question then you ask yourself, and this was something that was public, had public interest.
Correct.
An investigation has been done.
Yes.
You were a member of that same government.
Yes.
The public wanted to know, as we speak today, as to whether you were cleared.
But the police have said have been cleared.
No, excuse me. As to whether
the police have said have been cleared.
Where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Where is the evidence?
Would it not be in your own interest?
Pius, where is the evidence?
Eddie,
beyond what you are saying and what your people like you are saying.
Eddie,
where is the evidence that you were saying?
No.
Pius, and meanwhile, the Attorney General is not interested in taking you to court.
Eddie, allow him. Pius, would it not be in your own interest, for example, to say, put this report out, like we have for Ayawaso West Wogon report, like a Jura report. Put this report out so that everybody gets to know. Because each time these things come up, people take a blow at you.
No, John. It's the uneducated people on the matter. Partisan.
Educators were giving us the report.
That's not the only education you need. That's not the only education you need. You see, for instance, Johnny says that there was Ayawaso West Wogon.
Right.
There was a Jura.
Right.
In my own case, there was police criminal investigations.
Okay.
It's not a committee. You didn't know this. So I'm saying that the only...
No, who didn't know that?
So
There was
if
no
you know
committee that
this, if you know this, then you know how the police operate. Edward Bawa, if you are accused of a criminal matter and the police investigate you, do the police call a press conference to read the report of the investigation?
No, the report is definitely
in the matter. Oh, please, you said listen.
In the spirit of accountability, you see, in the spirit of transparency,
this is what political commentators do. They don't tell the truth.
But you are both political.
But I'm saying that no, but we must endeavor to tell the truth.
You are brought from a firm to manage something.
We must endeavor to tell the truth. But you ask the question, I'm answering you. For instance, in the case of the criminal investigations that was done on Honorable Atufosu, the police did not organize a press conference to read the report. They submitted the report to the prosecuting authority, who makes a value judgment that there is substance in this investigation.
I agree with you.
And has proceeded.
I agree with
That's
you.
how the police work.
Okay.
So it would be most uneducated for
So
anybody to suggest that when the police finish an investigation, and many people have been investigated, even in the Atufosu case, but the police report exonerated them. Alex Ebefia, for instance, so he is not being prosecuted. So is somebody going to say that publish the report relative to Alex Ebefia, otherwise he is guilty? Oh, what absurd thinking is that? What absurd thinking is that?
I'm coming.
You
have a bite. You have a bite.
Okay.
Now, in the matter of Mr. Sigbefia and Mr. Forson, Dr. Forson, for example, I saw one of the correspondences where he had written the letter and signed for the minister.
Yes.
So who takes the ultimate? You have been a deputy minister before. Correct. Who takes the ultimate responsibility? If I sign a letter for you, I'm doing it on your behalf.
Correct. That is if I give you the instruction to sign this letter for me.
Okay.
Then it becomes a matter that you are acting on authority.
Right.
So it's a defense you can always put out.
Okay.
It is for the person that you are actually claiming to have acted on his behalf to admit that, yes, indeed, I gave you. And these are what investigations do.
Okay.
I am not aware, but it is probable that under investigation, somebody will deny that I didn't even give him authority to sign this letter.
Right.
Because you don't need the minister's express permission to write for and sign and dispatch the letter. Okay? Criminal minded people can do that. I'm not suggesting that that's the case that happened now, in this instant case. But criminal minded people can write a letter and sign for Johnny Hughes without your knowledge and your express approval. But I'm saying that these are matters, and that's why we are a decent democratic country, where when matters arise, you go before the court. The person who is in court has his day in court to make his case. So I'm suggesting that the bite you raised today, this is a matter that is in court. I am at a loss as to why.
The matter is not in court now. The court.
The Attorney General has only stated an intention.
By issuing a writ.
No, it's not gone to court yet.
Are they not going to do case management and all of that?
But they do that in court.
The issues
they do that in court.
But they have not done that.
But it doesn't mean the matter is not in court.
They have not done that. Maybe you need to get a lawyer to explain to you what it means when they say matter.
But you know something.
You need to get a lawyer to explain.
Until you take the position in the dock, you are not in court.
No, I'm not saying that.
So at what point would they be in court? After today they are in court.
You need to get a lawyer to explain.
But after today they are in court.
You need to get a lawyer to explain.
Well, I may be wrong, but my understanding is that this matter.
My concluding part.
So Alamba, you have spoken. Alamba, let's move on.
You are my friend, and we have been friends since student days. So I don't. It's unfortunate that I have to go the way I did.
No, but it's
and
fine,
I'm going to make a point.
I gave you some indication that may be useful.
You see, the point is this: you were part of an executive.
Yes.
And you were being investigated by the executive. So the executive was investigating itself. Granted that
if you say the executive, it's not like it's a ministerial committee. It's a police.
I wish that you let him finish so that we move on.
It takes a member of the executive to make a judgment call as to whether to prosecute you or not. It doesn't take the police. It takes a member of the executive, which you belonged, to make a judgment call as to whether they will prosecute you or not. Now, the point I'm just trying to make to you is that, so you were being investigated by your same, the group that you belong to. Granted that the findings were not adverse.
But is not.
No, granted.
What you have said is actually correct.
You see, granted that the findings were not adverse. Don't you think it is in your own interest and in the interest of even government?
I don't disagree.
To have stated the facts, particularly.
I don't disagree.
When your position on the matter was different from what your substantive minister had.
No, I don't think so. I've never heard myself.
Okay, thank you. Pius, now let's get back. No, it's okay. We have spent too much time on this. Let's go on to.
I will still clear that.
Let's go on to. My question stands. Where are the 30 ambulances? That's all I'm asking this morning. If somebody has an answer, somebody will answer the question. I mean, somebody must answer the question. Where the 30 ambulances? And you know my history with ambulances. When the 307 ambulances were brought and they were parked at the state house, I asked questions as to when they will be released. I followed up, and in fact, it was released at some point. So we will stay true to national development. But Pius, a quick question on the speaker, what I asked about. Now, 4 soldiers have been withdrawn from a security detail. Concerns are that it is being made to make him kowtow to whatever. I don't know what you say about it.
I think that's a most absurd suggestion, because withdrawal of military or withdrawal of even police and all that, I do not see how that can make any fair-minded person kowtow. And kowtow to what? It's my understanding that in the history of our Fourth Republic from 1992, no Speaker of Parliament has had military as part of their security details. None. None. Through NDC, through MPP, none. Now, after the 2020 elections, and because of the election petition and the tensions that were in the system at the time, my understanding is that Speaker Gbagbo made a request, and the military, in their own statement that they have released, acceded to the Speaker's request, but without due process.
What process is this?
I am unable to speak about the processes of the military,
okay.
But their claim is that the approval did not go through the right process. However, they let it go. Now, a year after, in their view, they have to now regularize and go through the proper processes. And so they have withdrawn the military. I'm also advised that the Speaker made a request that a 7 military person should be made Marshal of Parliament.
Okay.
That's my understanding.
There's evidence to prove that?
Yes. Yes, it's in the military statement. It's in their accounts.
Which military statement? The one by Major General Andor?
No, this is rather in the National Security Minister's release.
Right.
So there cannot be anything untoward.
There's nothing like that in the National Security Statement. What is said is that the Speaker has the benefit of the police and the marshals in Parliament for his protection. He didn't say that a 7 military person should be made Marshal. He didn't say that. I've read the statement this morning.
I've read
Oliver,
it too,
pull up that statement for us.
It's not a matter under contention. It's a matter that we can cross-check. I've tried to speak to many people on the subject, and I got some of this information.
That's why I want us to read the letter from the
So that's
Security
fine.
Minister.
So the point I'm making is that the Speaker is properly protected. Like all other speakers have been protected. He didn't take the military to offer any speaker protection.
I want to understand. Sorry. I want to understand something. So, with the benefit of what I know, having lived in the barracks and with my father and all of that, there's no soldier who can move from Burma camp, Udara barracks, wherever it is, to say, I like Speaker Gbagbo, I want to go and protect him. Somebody must give him an order to go and protect and to report. So there's a briefing and then there's a debrief. There's clear rules, what you are going to do. The letter I saw from the clerk to Parliament indicated that, in fact, Speaker Gbagbo had requested that one person be replaced with another soldier. There was a David that was replaced, an Andrew that was replaced with a David, Staff Sergeant or W. I've forgotten the rank immediately. So an indication that the Army's claim that procedure was not followed may not be entirely correct because there was somebody there already. How did that person come there? That's the question.
Well, I'm not privy to this David replacing Andrew or Andrew replacing
Oliver,
David.
pull the picture, the clerk's letter
What
for
I
us.
do know is that on the instructions of the Speaker, the clerk wrote to the security, to the military, requesting for military of his choice.
Right.
That's what I know. And the military has accepted that, yes, indeed, they received a letter.
Okay.
And without due process, some 4 military persons were sent to the office of the Speaker. I believe the same people of his choosing. I believe so.
Okay. So this is the letter dated 21st of January 2021 from the Clerk of Parliament to the Chief of Staff General Headquarters, that's Major General Ando. It says, request for attachment of military personnel as security detail of the Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament. The Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Bagbin, presents his compliments to the Chief of Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces with reference to a letter PC/CS/112/20 dated 18 January 2021 in respect of the aforementioned subject. The Speaker has requested that 196624 Staff Sergeant Adekura Andrew be replaced with 193211 Staff Sergeant Apugiba Awene David of 1BN. So there are 4 soldiers. There's a W. Jafaru, there's a Staff Sergeant Apugiba, there's Sergeant Agbile, and there's Corporal Bonnie. These are the 4. So Andrew was there, but he was replaced with David.
Yes, so
of 1BN.
the same letter that you wrote made reference to their earlier letter.
Okay.
Which requested for these 4 soldiers.
Right.
And there was a subsequent request for a replacement of the initial request.
That's right.
So it is true that...
So the question I asked is that
yes,
there's no soldier in this country who can just get up and say, I'm going to guard.
But that's not in contention.
Because manned guards are giving...
Absolutely. The military statement speaks to that matter. That, yes, we gave you people, but we didn't go through the process. Now we want to go through the proper process. They have admitted to that. And again, by the letter that you read and by the history as we know it, no speaker has been given military personnel for his protection. They have always been police. In any case, we have people, and I am part of those, advocating that civilians should be given police protection, not military protection. That's been the position.
So why does the EC, for example, have military
but I'm saying that's my position.
Okay.
Okay, and many people have that voice. However, do know that just like Mr. Speaker Bagbin, the military is not shutting their doors. The military is saying that let us go through the proper process, suggesting to me that there may be a process that can be followed should there be the need for military protection. But if the military, having seen that something went wrong, let nobody suggest that they cannot cure, even if it is just procedural, it cannot be cured.
What do you say to those who say, look, if we are withdrawing for the Speaker of Parliament, then withdraw for everybody, withdraw for the EC, withdraw for everybody, and replace them with police guards?
I belong to the school of thought that, apart from probably His Excellency the President,
who's the Commander-in-Chief,
and maybe from the Defense Minister, all other civilians, no matter who you are, we should be given the proper police protection. In fact, it will make us equip the police properly. Because if the ministers have to be protected, if all the big men in society have to be protected, and it has to be the police, then we have to pay some attention to the police. And that's why I'm excited about all the wonderful things that this administration is doing to the police. You remember the fund that was just established by this government, 6.1 million and so on. I think we should, insurance, health insurance for the police. So this we should be able to invest in the police properly so that they can offer. So I agree with you that if that is a policy position, then it must follow through. However, the statement from the military suggests that in rare instances, the military may be amenable to detach 1 or 2 personnel for specific reasons. However, there have to be processes to be followed. So this zero-sum idea that somebody may have that says that, okay, this is an attempt to let somebody koto. I mean, how does that work?
I hear you.
Johnny, how does the soldier or the police impact how solid a speaker you can be?
Somebody says we have military men protecting Galamsey sites and Chinese miners, and we can't have a military protect our Speaker of Parliament.
Well, I think that again is sentimental.
How is it?
Because you see, military are out there going after Galamsey sites?
There's evidence that they were guarding Galamseyers. I have a video.
You are talking about military doing wrong, which can be punishable.
Right, but nobody has been punished.
No, oh no, please.
Nobody has been punished.
Many people have been punished for being officers who did wrong.
Who?
Give examples.
I'm Johnny, please. There are many.
You manage government information for
No, I'm saying that there are many from police to military that they make wrong judgment calls, proceed on their own, or maybe with connivance with maybe...
I'm talking about the specificity of this matter.
Which matter?
Oliver, find the video and play for me. I want the soldiers who were videoed protecting Galamsey sites, for example. Now, I want to know if anybody has been punished. You were deputy minister at the time.
But I'm saying that if there is evidence, and that's what we all know, that in the military and the police, if there is evidence that you acted on your own, and many of them do sometimes, you are punished. You either your rank will be, you can be demoted. The other time a policeman fired indiscriminate shots, he was interdicted, and the matter is under police investigation. No, it's a military, actually. A military man fired on the 31st now. So sometimes this military...
He's in the guard room. That I can
absolutely. So
he's
they have been
room.
punished. But I'm saying that is not the policy of the Ghana army to go and be firing shots. So there will be a miscreant somewhere and do something bad. But that does not mean that because a miscreant in the military has done something bad, it should become the standard.
Do you know what it means to have more than 8? That's a section of military people. Guard Galamseyers. 8. Do you know what it means?
Well, Johnny, first of all, I do not know the facts surrounding this matter.
It's on the TV, by the way.
I take it from you. But I'm saying that, assuming without admitting that this happened, these are criminal elements.
They are not
but they are doing illegality. You're saying that they are protecting an illegality.
Who sends them there? That's the question. If we can't find soldiers to...
With even names advertised.
Yeah, but you see, Johnny, I think that we need to... But I know that criminals have been arrested with military uniform.
They are not criminals. These are serving military officers.
But I'm saying that they are involved in an illegality. And it doesn't matter whether they are serving. They will be punished, and they have to be punished. If indeed they did what you claim they did, they will be punished. And that is the only reason why this matter is out for public discussion anyways. So we are bent on cracking down on illegality. But Johnny, let's not confuse that for what is happening, legitimate military interventions and processes.
I hear you. Let Bawa take a bite, and we're grateful to Joy News for that footage. We picked it from them. Bawa, take a bite on it. Now, 4 soldiers have been withdrawn. Do you share the view that the speaker is not safe? Pius says the speaker is safe. But what does the withdrawal take away from his security details, for example? So,
first and foremost, let me state very clear, and I know this is now public knowledge, that they say effective is in 14th January. Right. They were withdrawing the military detail from the speaker. Reasons that were given by the Major General who wrote the letter, the Chief of Staff, General Ando, was that proper procedure was not followed after a whole year. This same general was the one who was the Chief of Staff who superintended the movement of these people to Mr. Speaker's office. The question you will ask yourself, if you look at the letter seemed to suggest that they want to follow now the due process. That's what the letter seemed to suggest. The question then you ask yourself is, was it possible that these procedures could have been rectified while the people were still at post? That's the first question you need to ask. 2, they indicated that, look, military, and I'm discussing this in conjunction, I'm just putting all the statements together from the national security and then what they call the military. They indicate very clearly in their conversation that the issue of maybe dispatch of military men to take care of security details of individuals is on a need basis. You have a situation, and that's why Mr. Pius made this point that was funny to me. Yes, that there has not been any speaker since the 1992 Republican who has had a military detail. Just as we have had situations since 1992, we don't had a deputy minister of Attorney General who then subsequently became a minister having a military detail. We have not also had the case where we have a military people taking charge of the security of the EC So it means that there was something that would have occasioned the deployment of military men to that.
To speak about.
If you look at in terms of hierarchy of importance, yes, the president, you have the, what's the name?
Vice president.
The vice president. Then you have the speaker, who is the third. Now, if you think that it is okay, and that's the argument you are making in terms of the fact that you think that civilians should be guided by what they call police. You have even though the aide de camp of the vice president is a policeman,
right?
In his security detail, we have military men who are there,
right,
who are part of it. So if you have a situation where an attorney general who can have, because of on the need basis, can have what they call it, the military detail, but you have the Speaker of Parliament not being able to have that, because I'm saying that because of the national security, what they call it, statement that was brought. That look, they've enhanced what they call it, the security.
Your security and that of the Speaker as well.
It is important to state very clearly that look, yes, at the marshal level, we have marshals in Parliament. The marshal of Parliament is always a retired military man. So it is not a yes.
This one is a serving military.
Who is a serving military man?
This current marshal.
No.
Okay.
They have always been. And in fact, the one who just made and this, he was a deputy. The one who is not taking over was a deputy, he just took over. They are always retired military officers, commissioned officers who are there. So we've always had that arrangement. Yes, we do have the police. But there was a reason why Mr. Speaker wrote the letter on the 21st of January 2021.
What was the reason?
The reason was just because of the fact that within the context of what had happened, for the first time, we had a situation where you were having, what do you call it, an opposition MP or an opposition member becoming a Speaker of Parliament.
Right.
2, you had a situation, he himself had alluded to it, tensions that had come up as a result of election petition and what have you. And so security needed to be beefed up.
That's done now.
Excuse me?
The election petition is done now.
No, be patient. So if in January 21st, 2021, what do you call it? The Speaker wrote to the military,
right, and
the military felt that he didn't need that. That was another thing. The military has not also indicated that in their estimation, he doesn't need that.
No.
They say procedure was not followed.
They just said procedure was not followed.
Correct.
This is, if procedure was not followed, this is something that could have been rectified without necessarily withdrawing those people. Is it the case that after they have rectified the procedure, the same officers will be sent? Because usually in terms of security,
you pick who you
pick
want.
the person you are confident to be with. So is it the case that is going to, if that's what is going to happen?
Not necessarily. It may as well mean that the processes would end up suggesting that the need has not arisen.
So the point I'm just trying to make, that, and then you confirm my thing.
It's a possibility. I don't know for a fact. It's a possibility.
If it had to do with assessment of the need of that's a different thing. They are stating very clearly the only reason why they are withdrawing the person, the personnel, is because procedure was not followed.
Right. Yes.
Not because in the assessment he doesn't need
No. The assessment is part of the procedure.
No.
Yes.
No.
Do you know this?
Yes. It's in the statement.
No.
It's in the
national security statement.
It is not part.
No, it is. I read it.
You know one
It is
thing.
not part.
It is.
It is not. It is not.
Please read it.
Because you know why?
We have to go. We have to go, but I quickly will have to read this national security statement so that they settle.
I recall seeing that.
But I have just a last point.
I'll allow you. Now, the Ministry of National Security has taken note of the circulation of a leaked correspondence between the Office of the Chief of Staff of the Ghana Armed Forces and the Speaker of Parliament on social media. Subsequently, the content of this correspondence has been misinterpreted as an attempt by the executive arm of government to deprive the Speaker of the resources required for his full protection. The Ministry of National Security would like to place on record that, contrary to the aforesaid misrepresentation, all requisite resources, including logistics and personnel required for the full protection of the Speaker, has been provided. It is worth noting that for the first time since 2017, the security arrangements for both the Speaker and members of Parliament have been significantly enhanced. It is also needs stating that personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces do not form part of the security detail for the Speaker and Parliament, as parliamentary security support is provided by the Ghana Police Service. Any need for specific agency support is typically executed on a need basis in accordance with the stated protocols. To reiterate, there has neither been a withdrawal of the security detail for the Speaker nor a reduction of the security strength of Parliament. The good people of Ghana are therefore entreated to disregard any unfounded speculation to this effect. So it's not there. It's not in the statement.
Even besides that,
It's not in the statement.
No, but even you see, in the last part of the statement, it's even incorrect. To say that there has not been a withdrawal of the security detail of the speaker, it is not true. They have, because they were providing security.
The speaker doesn't have police.
No, the point I'm making is that they were part of the security detail of the the speaker. But you see,
the four.
Yes, but the point I'm just
we have to go quickly.
The point I'm just trying to make very clearly. You see, this government has consistently, through even its surrogates, have been talking about building consensus, talking about we working together, particularly in a hung parliament as we have it. This does not inure to that building.
Why?
This clearly does not inure to that building.
Do you support the idea that
it is not about
should be providing security?
That is another debate we can have another day. But this does not inure to any consensus.
No, but you agree.
Okay.
And you think
it ruins consensus building?
Let me tell you.
But John,
I am one of the
look.
I am
allow him to make it.
Can I make my point? I am one of the few.
Yeah.
I am one of the few.
John is against it.
Oh, that's okay. That's his opinion.
Yeah, but
he's entitled to his opinion.
What is your opinion?
I am not under duress to statement. Let me make my point.
You see, you can't talk.
The point I'm just trying to make very clearly is that, look, if government moves in this direction, it confirms some of us our position in parliament that, look, we will not collaborate with you because the issue of consensus can never happen. And I'm making that point to you. Know that from now onwards, I am not speaking on behalf of parliament.
Thank you.